Excellent. Oh my gosh, super excited to speak with you, Angel. Welcome to our best possible future.
Thank you so much for having me, Deb. I'm so
Oh,
excited to be here.
I'm so excited. I just feel like this is going to be our first Facebook Live of many because you're just so fun to talk with and so wise. And we're going to be talking about the 5 ways to ward off wealth, which I am super keen to learn from you.
Mm,
Before we get into that, I love to ask the question: how do you feel we can co-create our best possible future?
beautiful question. So I feel like the way that we co-create has to begin with us doing our own inner work so that we become trustworthy to ourselves. And once we become trustworthy to ourselves, then we can more easily bring together with others who have become trustworthy to themselves, relationships where we can share our visions and we can collaborate and co-create, free from actually one of the ways that we ward off wealth, free from worry. So that's the first way that we ward off wealth is by worrying. So for me, being able to co-create the best possible future starts with that foundation of trust.
Oh, I love that. It's really cool. And yes, worry. It's a misuse of our imagination.
Mhm, mhm.
So tell me, Angel, what's like a brief overview of how you got to be where you are today? Because you are a powerhouse, inspirational, amazing. Tell me what happened to get
All
you.
right. So, well, I spent the first 20 years of my career in real estate, and my last project was 51 single family houses, 56 apartments, and an office building with two partners. And I was also the national chairperson of my trade association at the end of that career. And then I had a spiritual awakening. And when I had the spiritual awakening, long story short, if I had not been in a yoga community at the time, I probably would have taken myself to the psych ward because literally my third eye popped open and I could see angels going up and down this golden white staircase. And when I sat up and looked, because I was out at this event, a yoga event in the park, everyone in the park was a golden white orb of light. So it was a little freaky for somebody who had, spent 20 years in the real estate business. And as a result of that spiritual awakening, I left behind that career and spent a good number of years just discovering all of these latent parts of myself that I didn't know existed. So I found my author, I found my performer, I found my healer, I found my artist, I found just all of these latent parts of myself. And then I was called to then become a messenger and to speak and share with others, so that, as a role model for being able to completely transform your life and really align with who you're actually here to be on the planet. And so I started that in about 2008. And so I've been online in the online space since 2008. And my son was in puberty when I first got started in the online space. So I've done most of my work with people from all over the world virtually since 2008. It got cool to work virtually in 2020 and 21 and 22, but I've been doing it since 2008. So I've generated multiple millions of dollars from home, mostly in my PJs or my yoga pants. Most of that time as a single mom, raising my kid through puberty. So I was able to speak and sell and serve and succeed and bake all the brownies for the football team.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So, in this journey, you've also worked out the 5 ways to ward off wealth.
Yeah. That we all ward, these are the things that we do. We
I'm
ward to ward
excited
off
to
wealth.
hear.
Yeah.
I'm excited to because in the Wisdom Playground, we're passionate about having more of those coaches and uplifters to create more success for themselves so they have even more energy to help others navigate the world. And wealth is an area that I think many of us could expand our capacity to receive in. So I'm excited to hear this.
Totally. Well, let me start by defining wealth before we
Mm.
go into the 5 ways we ward off wealth. And I use the acronym THIEF because most of the time we are stealing from ourselves in one or more of these areas. So these areas are the 5 resources that we have that make up a wealthy life: our time, our health, our imagination, which is a combination of our intellect and our intuition, the ecosystem of exchange, which is where the money piece is. And as you'll notice, that's only 20% of the definition of wealth for me. And then fun with our family, friends, and fellows on the journey, fellow travelers on the journey. So for me, a wealthy life is the sum total of all of these resources and being in a state of thriving in all of these areas. You know, plenty of time, excellent health, wildly creative imagination, exquisite ecosystem of exchange, and plenty of fun. If we're not having fun, we're not doing it.
Oh, I'm so aligned with that.
Yeah. Well, and also, if you think about it, fun, F-U-N, are the first 3 letters in the word funds, F-U-N-D-S. So if we're not having fun, we're not doing it. Money likes fun.
Oh, that's good. Like it. Okay.
So the 5 ways that we actually ward off wealth, meaning we prevent it from coming in. I've already talked about worry. And worry is when I work with people, I work with people both deeply intuitively as well as intellectually, because I've got like 40 plus years of entrepreneurial experience, but I also have this deep intuitional capacity. And so when I see with my psychic seeing, when I see worry, it looks like a dark, gray, musty, smelly, old, nasty army blanket that's wrapped around the person or whatever it is they're worrying about. And so if you're worrying about money, you've actually put this repelling energy all around the money, right? Or if you're worried about getting clients, you've literally put this all over your business or your clients. Or if you're worried about your health, same thing, right? So worry is number 1. Number 2 is withdrawing. So for those of you who are watching us on the live here, you may get something out of this and you'd be like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I need to take action. And then you walk away and you pull your energy back in and you don't do anything, even though in the moment you were inspired. And this happens a lot for people who go to retreats or they go to events, they get all excited and they say to themselves, I'm going to do it this time. And then they go home and they pull their energy right back in, and that wards off wealth as well.
So not taking the inspired action when you get it.
Correct.
Is a way of withdrawing.
Well, yes, it is a way of withdrawing, but often it's literally you're pulling back your energy. You know, your energy gets going when you have an inspiration. It's kind of like a seed gets germinated, right? When you're like, oh my God, I need to do this, right? And then maybe worry makes you withdraw, or maybe something else makes you withdraw. But the action of withdrawing, of pulling back your energy from whatever it was that you were inspired by, shuts down that momentum tunnel, shall we say, or that realm of possibility that could have created something different for you. In particular, could have created a wealthy life for you.
Yeah, I see that all the time, like judgments and criticisms and the comparisons and all the stuff in our head can get in the way of actually just going for it and following the inspiration. And even if it doesn't make sense at the moment, you think you should be doing blah blah, but just go where the energy is. I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So then the third way that we ward off wealth is waffling. And waffling This is not being able to make a decision. It's like, I can't decide. And so a great example I like to use for this is, imagine you're at this big live event and somebody's on the stage and they say some amazing thing that makes you think, oh my God, I need to work with that person. And then they say it's a $10,000 investment. And you know, we're going to take your investments on the break. So then you go to the break, you run to the ladies' room, your best friend texts you and says, hey, remember that Mediterranean cruise that we've been thinking about for years that was $25,000? It's on sale today for $10,000. And now you have the cruise ship for $10,000 or your entrepreneurship for $10,000. The cruise ship, the entrepreneurship, the cruise ship, the entrepreneurship, the cruise ship, the entrepreneurship. And before you know it, both ships have sailed and you haven't done anything. You haven't been able to decide. So waffling.
That's powerful.
It wards off wealth every time.
So what do you recommend? Just make a decision is better than not making one?
Exactly.
In a way, we can't get it wrong anyway, right? Like,
correct.
So better to make a decision and align with it.
Exactly. And one of the ways that, one of the antidotes to waffling is getting in touch with your own wisdom, because your wisdom actually knows what the correct choice is. Right. And when you're in this indecision thing, you're up in your head, you're not in your heart, you're not in your body, you're in the head in this comparison, like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And you're not really listening, and you're not really tuning in, and you're not really, you know, tapping into the wisdom that's naturally and inherently there. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the fourth way we ward off wealth is whining, generally over wine. And again, I'll use an example. If let's say you're in an event and you're sitting down after the long day and everybody has their glass of wine around the fire. So first of all, the wine is actually going to lower everyone's consciousness. And then if you start whining, what you're actually doing is you are now in this group of people whose consciousness is lowered. You're whining, they're colluding with your whining, and you're literally energizing whatever it is that you're whining about. You're bitching, you're moaning, you're complaining about. It's not healthy, and it's not going to welcome wealth into your life. And it's actually additive, like you're adding all of their energy to your whining. It's like amplifying the whining, amplifying the complaining, amplifying the bitching and moaning, and making you feel justified often, right? To hold on to your grievances. So whining is going to ward off wealth. And then the last one is waiting on. And waiting on can look like one of two things. It could either be the good old fairy tale, waiting on the handsome prince to come along and rescue you. Someday he's just going to come on his big white horse and rescue you and take you out of whatever, dragons you are unwilling to face. There's that waiting on. And then there's the other waiting on that's like Cinderella waiting on her stepsisters, right? And I see this happen all the time in Facebook groups, in mastermind groups, in entrepreneurial programs where there's, and I will raise my hand because I know about this because I caught myself doing it. There's always at least 2 or 3 people in these groups that are running around taking care of everybody else, and they're not taking care of themselves. They're helping. They're like the, Susie helper. Like, here I can help with that. I can help with that. Oh, I can help you with that. Oh, I have the answer for that. And they're so busy waiting on other people, taking care of other people, uncompensated, that they're not focusing on and taking care of their own business.
Right. So waiting's not like waiting time wise. It's actually waiting as a wait. I've been a waitress and I do overgive.
Yeah, waiting on. It's waiting on.
Yeah.
It's waiting on. It's not the same as being patient while the bread is cooking.
Yeah.
Or waiting for the time period from, X to Y to happen. It's the like craving for waiting on somebody to rescue you. Like, I'm just sitting here waiting on my rescuer, or it's running around waiting on everybody else at your expense.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
It's an
So those are the
interesting
5
one.
ways.
That was like, oh, I resonate with the waiting on the prince. I have let that go, but for most of my life, I've been waiting on that. And then I definitely do the like overgiving without compensation piece.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could do a whole thing on overcoming overgiving.
Right.
Some other time. We could do a whole thing on overcoming.
Okay.
It's something that's deeply, deeply, deeply like ingrained, conditioned, socialized into women and has been forever. I mean, we have been expected to hold together the social fabric on a volunteer basis. We have been expected to, hold together the emotional well-being of the family on an unpaid, basis forever. So, when you're in business, though, you have to be wise about the highest and best use of your time. And, one of the first things I learned when I left the real estate business and I started my own thing, I had to just stop doing a lot of volunteer stuff because I had been so conditioned to believe that I was a good person if I was the treasurer for the Little Iguana Children's Safety Foundation and on the board for the arts committee and, doing all of these other things that, were not necessarily the right things for me to be doing at that time. I think the most important thing, I don't want to say that you shouldn't volunteer, but what I do want to say is that you've got to be wise about, making sure, like they say when you go on the airplane, make sure your oxygen mask is on first before you help others, and make sure that you are serving from the overflow. Like our cup, like we said at the beginning when we defined wealth, the 5, time, health, imagination, ecosystem of exchange, and fun. Those all need to be in a state of overflow, not half full or almost empty. All of those need to be, you got to be topped up and in a state of overflow. And then when you're in overflow, then you can be judicious about how you want to utilize the overflow in a way that is beneficial for the good of all beings, right?
Yeah, I love that. So, what would you say are the practical steps you'd recommend for us today that we can implement to progress in warding off,
Right.
well, not warding off wealth anymore?
To stop warding it off.
Yeah,
To stop. So these are the 5 ways that we ward off wealth. And then there are actually 5 ways to welcome wealth. I'm only going to give you one today because what I'd like to do is I'd like to just let everybody know I have a fun quiz that you can take.
Oh, yeah.
And the quiz is going to let you know what your wealthy life readiness is. It's a readiness quiz. And when you take the quiz, it will give you a score about, wherever you're at. And then from there, there's, an opportunity to have a conversation with me and other things on the back end of the quiz. But the one major way that we can begin the process of welcoming wealth instead is, now that you all have awareness, okay, I'm worried, I'm withdrawing, I'm waffling, I'm whining, I'm waiting on, right? If you're doing any of those things, then you now know you're warding off wealth, okay? So awareness is key, right? You now know, and you can catch yourself. So what's the antidote? The first main antidote that I recommend is to get into a state of wonder. Return to that state of childlike curiosity and wonder, which, I'm sure the Wisdom Playground is all about, right?
Yes.
It's all about being in that state of wonder. So, let's go back to the entrepreneurship cruise ship thing. Instead of being in indecision, stop the indecision, which is like just this spinning in your head, and instead say, I wonder what would happen if I said yes to investing $10,000 to build my business further or grow my business or get my idea off the ground. I wonder what would happen. And then when you're in wonder, you begin your powerful subconscious mind and the universe and, all of the forces that be that are here to support us in being our best selves, our best futures, having our best futures, goes to work, right? That it goes to work. And when you're in wonder, you're open to solutions. You're open to possibilities. You're open to things coming from out of the blue. My favorite thing is when something comes from out of the blue. It's like, oh my goodness, it came from out of the blue. It's like a miracle. It came from out of the blue, right? And so I want to be in a receptive, wondering space so that I can have more of those experiences of this miraculous out of the blue thing that was completely off the radar, completely unexpected, usually very synchronistic and delightful, like a delightful surprise, a totally delightful, unexpected, out of the blue, wonderful surprise, right?
Yeah. That's so cool. It's so interesting. The whole being in that wonder is so powerful, because that wonder, curiosity, that's not just good for allowing wealth. Like, that is a fun way to live life, even though fun's part of wealth. It is a way to enhance our well-being, and even the studies of centurions, the people who've lived over 100, they've got that curiosity. They live in that way. So it's such a gift and it's something we can do right now. Like, no matter what's happened up until now, right now we can choose to do that right now. We all have the power. There's infinite possibilities available in every moment, and it's just it is delightful. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I have a favorite prayer of mine. I have two favorite prayers. One of them is clarity is divinity. So please make me a pure, clear channel, right? Clarity is divinity. And then the other is never let me lose my sense of awe and wonder. Just those are my prayers. And I, if I can live my life that way, then I've had a wealthy life, regardless of what the balance is in my bank account.
Yeah. And that's such an important point as well. It's not just the money. It is so much more than money. Money is, of course, a big, let's all allow more money as well.
Yeah. And there are plenty of people that are financially wealthy and do not live a wealthy life. There are plenty of people that are financially incredibly wealthy, but they are not living a wealthy life. Their health is lousy. Their time is completely jammed. They have no fun. And their whole focus is on, getting more and more and more money, which you can't take it with you.
Yeah. And that, I guess it's a big part of the whole word success, to define it for ourselves of what that truly is. I suspect the people that maybe have a lot of money but still don't live that wealthy life, either in health, relationships, fun, all the things. That piece that you said at the start, worry, is such a huge factor, because I assume that doubt is in that as well, right?
Totally. Totally.
So
doubt is definitely part of worry.
Yeah. And
because doubt is that, like, I'm worried that I'm not able to, or I'm worried that I'm not good enough, or I'm worried that there isn't enough, or it's definitely, doubt would be definitely incorporated there for sure.
And coming back to that society conditioning, we are so programmed to feel like we're not enough. There's not enough time, not enough money, not enough this, that, I'm not enough, is all part of that worry thing. And I think that's so good to get present to that when we're doing. Have you got a recommendation of what you suggest people do with worry if they worry a lot, or doubt themselves, or
you have to catch yourself? First of all, you have to catch yourself. Like, again, awareness is the first step, right? So if you catch yourself worrying, and I'm not going to say I'm perfect by any stretch of the imagination, right? But the goal is not to be completely, I mean, yes, ultimately it would be lovely to never actually worry again, right? The the goal is to incrementally get better, right? And so if, let's say I once upon a time was worried 28 out of 30 days a month. If I'm now worried 20 minutes out of 30 days a month, I have done some work, right? And when I catch myself in that 20 minutes, I can then stop the momentum. I can stop the momentum. It's really about bringing awareness, stopping the momentum, and then going into the antidote. I wonder what I could do for myself right now that would shift my mind, that would, calm my emotions, that would reset my system in some way. I mean, going outdoors 1,000% is always a good antidote to anything, because you cannot help but be pretty quickly put into a state of wonder by just being outside in nature. Right? Today I went for a walk in the rain, and the beaver has now decided he is taking down half the forest. So I'm like, oh my God, Mr. Beaver, what are you doing in here? I wonder what you're doing in here. And my stuff is gone because I'm paying attention to what Mr. Beaver is doing in the forest instead of whatever temporary brain fart was causing me to have any bit of worry going on. So go outside.
Yes, nature is the best. And I love the concept of wonder, because it's not just the state of wonder. Even that in itself is an empowering question to have up your sleeve. If you're wherever you're at, just stop, breathe, and ask that question so that you can get the inner wisdom for the next step. And
and sometimes you say to yourself, I wonder what life is trying to show me right now. Because oftentimes when we're doing these things, worrying, withdrawing, waffling, whining, waiting on, whatever the thing is that we're doing, we're actually putting ourselves into this separated state. So if we can get out of the separated state and instead say, I wonder what life is trying to give me right now. I wonder what wisdom life is attempting to show me right now that I'm actually avoiding. I'm warding off the wealth that life is attempting to share with me right now. So, yeah.
So good. Okay, so so I know you have your quiz. We've got the link there for that. And did you want to just share again what type of people you want to get in connected with you, and where to do that?
Obviously. So I'm also the executive producer and host of the Wickedly Smart Women podcast, 8-time award winning. We have all our awards up here. I'm running out of shelf space.
I need a bigger cabinet.
I need a bigger shelf. So, you can always tune into Wickedly Smart Women. We have all the little things there that you can join the Wickedly Smart Women community. And I mean, if you really resonated with what I said to you today about warding off wealth, and that it's time for you to make some changes and get support for that, then take the quiz and go through the whole process that's behind the scenes there with the quiz, and reach out to have a conversation with me. The people that I serve best, I generally have an international clientele. I've always had more people from other countries than from the US. My people are mostly women, but a few very wise men, spiritually oriented, change agents, transformational leaders, people who are called, that, you're here with something to do, and it's undeniable. Like, the call is undeniable. And if you are an innovator or inspired with some new way that you are here to seed into the planet, like I call them the New Earth Architects. New Earth Architects are my people. A little bit woo-woo, right? A little bit woo-woo. And I mean, my show is called Wickedly Smart Women. So I usually do well with very smart people, whether they're male or female. So those are my people. And you're not my person if you think that I'm I'm crazy and you know, you're going to have judgment if you're going to be judging what I'm saying. If you think I'm bizarre or weird or you want to hang me, burn me at the stake, you're not my people.
Yeah. Or if you want to keep whining and
Yeah. If you want to keep, if you're so attached, if you're so attached to all of these things, worrying, like if you live to worry and withdraw and waffle and whine and wait on, I'm not your gal.
Yeah.
But if you want out, I will help you out.
Thank you. I love it. So cool. I am so delighted that I got up early that day for that meeting and got put with you to meet you, because I just think you're an absolute treasure and inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I totally agree. It takes one to know one, Deb, and I'm so glad you got up early and we had that out of the blue synchronistic cosmic date. So thank you.
Yeah.
If you believe in cosmic dates, I'm your gal.
I'm your girl. Okay, so I really am excited to do your quiz, continue the conversation. I feel like there's just, I resonate with your wisdom. I wanted to help share that, get that out there even further than where it is. Thank you so much for being with us today. For those watching, please like, comment, share, ask questions, all the things, because this is a topic that is, I just shared on a Facebook Live yesterday. I'm on a mission to spread joy and well-being globally, and everything we've just chatted today is such a big part of that. So I'm excited. What would be your final thoughts for today, Anjel, that you want to share?
Yeah, well, you're on a mission to do what you're doing. My mission is to support the people who are here to create conscious change, to be able to welcome wealth and utilize it well, right? To really leverage the wealth that is available to us to make significant impact. If you're starving and barely surviving, or just kind of like, I want us, those of us who are here to be conscious change agents, to literally begin stewarding the financial wealth of the planet in a healthy way. Like, and we need to open to receive that. We need to be the ones to create the vacuum where the money can come and be realigned in service to the evolution of humanity. That's what I'm here to do.
Yes. Yes. That is just,
whoever is here, who's here for that. Let's play. Let's roll. Let's have some fun together.
Yes. Okay. Mic drop. Beautiful. So, yes. I'm a yes. Thank you again, Anjel. Thank you for those of you who are with us today. We love you. And until next time, keep on loving. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.